Hey, True Believers, Chris Mack coming at you today with Longshot Issue 1. And this book is a little silly, but overall it's a great, fun read. This is the first appearance of Longshot. The print date on this was September of 1985. And other than this being his first appearance, the other thing that's really important about this, and we'll talk about this now down here on the who created the book, Anna Santee was writing, and then Art Adams. From what I understand, that this is one of his first big debut books. So that's awesome to have that. We have Anderson and Portacio doing inks, Joe Rosen letters, Christy Sill colors, Luis Jones, who we know as Louise Simonson, the editor, and Jim Shooter was editor-in-chief. So we have an all-star cast for this book for a man without a past. And we're just thrown into it. Longshot's running from these creeps, and he's just not sure what's going on. So he ends up jumping through this portal. We have no idea where he's from, what's going on. All we know is that everyone's jumping through the portal. It says, and they pause for an eternal instance, held in that place where all has been and all is yet to become, and where the future is already the past. And this is where it gets a little silly, because he ends up upstate New York, and we see this woman here. She goes, "Oh, saints, hear me. Blessed Mary, Peter, Paul, help." There's a car coming, and she goes, "Ralph, there's some kind of electrical storm. Ralph, the car's gone berserk. Ralph, we're going to kill that lady." "All right, I see it, Rose. Shut up already." A little tropey, but Longshot appears, saves her, and then as the car crashes, we see this gargoyle fall over, all this money fall, and they're like, "Look, there was money hidden behind that gargoyle. Some crook's gonna be mad, but man, ain't we lucky." And then I love this kid. He goes, "Oh boy, I could buy comics and candy and comics." That kind of reminds me of me, because I'll be like, "Oh boy, I can buy comics and action figures and comics." And that's how I got this book. But as you can see, artwork's great. And then everyone's like, "Are you some sort of new hero? What a lucky guy." And they're like, "What's your name?" "My name? Where? Who? You guys look odd. What are you? Where am I?" And then just like that, because he doesn't answer the questions immediately. They're like, "Oh, he's some sort of whack job." And they're like, "You on drugs, kid? I better take you in." And he runs off, and he's like, "Come back, I gotta arrest you." And it just kind of shows what happens when the crowd just immediately turns on you. It's like, "What's that big light up there? So bright. The ride of color, it's out of sync. Where's the Spitfires? This godless place. Godless. What's that word mean? What's it doing in my head? That face, it's not quite me. Is it? But whose?" And I love how it says Nasante's Deli. I just love that little nod to the writer. And then we're introduced to, what's his name? Elliot. And he's an odd character in this book. He's one of those survivalists. He's like, no last name, of course. You understand why. It's like, we got to stick together. I saw that trick you did before. You busted the probability odds for sure. What a long shot. And they tend to use that word a lot. So it's a little on the nose, but it is what it is. And just kind of seeing how he's a man out of his element. Like he says here, "Oh, help me. I must know who I am." Of course I do. Everyone knows who they are. I know the language. I must know the planet. What a great joke. I have no name. Oh, this is a riot. Who am I? Somebody must know. Someone will tell me. I'll just sit here and wait. And he's trying to talk to these ladies, and he gets mad. He's like, "You can at least smile." And he runs inside, and he finds out they're mannequins. But the innocence of the character is just great, because the world in and of itself, they're thinking, oh, baby, how can I get this guy to stick around? And she's like, try on this coat. Oh, thanks. It'll help me hide from the troops. Bye now. Hey, you owe me money. Owe him what? I don't even know money. Story of my life. If they're handsome, they're nuts. Guess I have to call the cops. And he goes, I missed something. But what? It's all there at the edges. I can feel the answers. Dimly. Someone must miss me? Will they find me? Will anyone try? What was I? I'm a clean slate now. What about a woman? Did I love? Maybe before. There was nothing. Maybe that's why I've forgotten, because I wanted to. I'm scared. But I must have had dreams. And it's very profound how they talk about, how Longshot goes through here, just talking about how he doesn't know who he is, doesn't understand what's going on in this world, doesn't really understand Elliot in and of himself and what, how he's saying, the cops always blame you and whatnot. And then we go in, he's reading the newspaper, and he goes, what does he say? He's talking to Elliot, and he's reading the paper, and he goes, hey, there's a baby kidnapped. I'd like to get it back. What? That's just a news story. You mean the words in the paper are made up? Yes! Well, no, I guess they're true. Then we must get the baby back. And this is where we're introduced to Herschel. Her baby was taken by these demons. Everyone thinks she's crazy. And she talked about how these monsters left this dilapidated doll as a kind of a sick, cruel joke. And right here, the one thing that I've never seen Longshot do before this is he goes, I'll read the doll's past and future. I think this is the only time they've ever used that power. But here he's able to start seeing the monsters that took her, and we start to kind of get nods to Mojoverse. Again, we don't know who Mojo is at this point, but we do now. So these three characters, kind of the odd bunch, go to save Herschel's baby. You come to find out that the baby's being used for this sacrificial thing so that they can open a portal to their world. And here up above, this is the first appearance of Spiral. And you see how she's using her dance to open the portal, and we see these demons talking about how the, how do they say it? What's his word? The flabby one or something like that. So another nod to Mojo. And what I like here is how Longshot, again, we all know that one of his powers is luck. But there's a point where these demons talk about how they know who he is. And so he takes his sights off of trying to save the baby, chasing these demons, going, you know who I am. Tell me. And everything starts to go to crap. And Longshot eventually understands that in order for his powers to work, his motives have to be true and not selfish. And once he focuses on saving Herschel's baby, his mutant powers kick back in. So it was a really interesting way to show how, in a sense, Longshot's like this Peter Pan type character, and why everyone loves him, because he has that innocence that not everybody has when they get older. And I think that's what made Longshot so lovable back in the day. And even though, like I said, this story gets a little hokey, just showing the innocence of Longshot, this man in this whole new dimension doesn't know who he is, doesn't really understand how his powers work until it matters. Some excellent storytelling. The art team is on point. As you can see, it has that nice grittiness that you'd feel from an X-Men comic book. Highly recommend it, guys. If you can find this series, definitely pick it up. If you'd like me to go through the next 5 issues, let me know down in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little X bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope you all Continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.